No, he passed the very next day.
Well, he's dead now.
Yep.
Rest in peace,
The juice.
O.J. Boy, it's amazing to watch the commentary on the major news stations. They're saying he was known for the 2 murders. I mean,
Pump those
the
people.
man was not convicted of the crime.
Exactly. That's what I got a problem with.
And the assumption in all the commentary is as though he got away with murder.
And that's because he got found guilty during the.
On a civil case, which
civil
to
case,
me
right.
was
This-
bullshit too.
Exactly.
Because if you're found not guilty of
How could
the
you deny
murder,
their right to?
how
How could you
in the
deny
hell
them their
could
right to
you-
live?
How in the hell could you owe money for the murder? You wasn't found guilty of the murder. You wasn't found guilty as an accessory. Nothing.
Yeah.
But the civil decision was that you should pay this money.
You denied them their right to
He
live,
obviously
supposedly.
wasn't the smartest guy to ever live. He wasn't the sharpest knife in the world. Later on, he did 9 years for
Going to get
trying
his
to rob
stuff.
a guy to get what he deemed to be his stuff, which was some footballs with his autograph on them, which was asinine. Cause
Which was a total
if it's
setup.
your autograph, just get another ball and sign it.
Which was a total
What the hell
setup.
you gonna do now?
I just think he was on.
It wasn't a total setup because he did it,
Oh,
but
snap.
it was overwhelming.
snap. He made
It's
sense.
like they're laying for you,
That
fool.
makes sense.
Exactly.
But it wasn't a total setup because
This is DC. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. This is DC Curry TV. DC Curry. He's a comedian, OG comedian. DC Curry TV. Go ahead and support his channel. He has a really good podcast. Check him out. They talking about O.J. Simpson. Hit the thumbs up button, and I'm gonna come back with my reaction.
he did it.
He did it. That's true. I agree with you on that. But
What the hell you
just waiting.
man, the hell with that football.
Yeah.
Right.
You just got away with murder.
Exactly, exactly.
I know I'm contradicting myself.
No, but he got arrested before that, stealing cable TV down in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, I think he did an
I was in
overnighter.
Florida one time, and they said he had left a restaurant, and in the restaurant, they got upset because somebody in the restaurant, well, I think the waitress brought him a fork and a spoon, but didn't bring him a knife. And he got up and made some joke about it.
Right.
I think I was in Orlando, and they wanted to throw him out the restaurant about the knife joke.
But my thing is, you continued, like you said, he was acquitted. But the subliminal things that he had to deal with in society, like not bringing me a knife, what makes me any different than any other patron? So I admire OJ for the fact that if y'all gonna continue to address me on something I know I'm not, the best way I gotta deal with it is through showing that y'all ain't getting to me. I gotta joke through it. Ain't no telling how much inner pain he had to deal with. But right now in front of y'all, when these cameras on, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to let y'all know that y'all didn't get to me. Because honestly, this man is accused of killing his wife. And at one point he loved her, so why would he do it?
Let's cut to the chase. I don't believe he did it.
I don't think he did it either.
No, he didn't
I did
do
the
it.
podcast. He didn't do it.
O.J. didn't.
I mean, literally, come on now. If a black man did it, a black man going to jail. If a black man didn't do it, it's still a good chance a black man going to jail.
That's true.
But if a black man did it, come on now.
Right. Well,
I got some more
blind
hard.
white
I
lady.
think he was just protecting the person that did do it.
I tend to agree with you. And now, who do I think did it? His son.
Me too, DC.
but why would his
Me
son
too.
kill? Why would his son come in? If his
didn't
son
do that.
did it,
No.
then his son definitely had help. It was definitely a two-person job.
If his son didn't do it, everybody, that's one of the rumors everybody has been saying for years, that his son did it for his dad because his dad was going through it with Nicole and he didn't like his dad being stressed out by her, and that's why he went in. That he didn't do it. I'm going to tell y'all who did it. It's a documentary that is going to play after this video. And it's not a documentary. It's a little video I did with from Corey Holcomb's 5150 show. It's going to play after this where Craig, I think his name is Craig Williams. He's a comedian on his show, and he talked about who really did them, who really did it. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Let's continue on.
No. In protection of his
His
father.
son was big and strong.
His
just like
son
he
went
was.
in there. He slit that woman. I mean, it's 2 or 3 reasons I don't think OJ did it. she was, no matter how trifling or whatever he said she was his wife. I just heard something to reiterate my belief last week, which I had not heard before. Did y'all know that she was scalped? Now, when a black man ever scalped somebody?
What?
Well, I did a lot of research with the
I didn't
moment he
know that.
died, because some people
I
had
didn't
some stuff to say on my Facebook page, and I went immediately last week, put up a lot of pictures, and I didn't want to post on social media. But yeah, they handled her pretty rough, and Ron Goldman had some pretty serious injuries as he put up a fight. But reason I say it's a two-person job,
Wow.
DC. If you look at it, where the gate was, on where somebody just could have ran, it was from here to maybe that table, and Ron Goldman is probably where weight ball is, and her body's right here. So I don't care how strong or how skilled you are. One person, I don't see that you're gonna be just watching me, and I don't run. Like if let's just say he got to weight ball first, got to Ron Goldman first. Why would she just stand there, watch this man get beat up and stabbed, and don't scream
Right.
and don't run outside?
As a matter of timing. It could have been, she could have been dead 5 minutes before he showed up.
No, they right there, DC. Like
That
you
don't
see
mean
what
how
the-
close they are. They could be on top of each other. She could have been dead 5 minutes before
Right.
he showed up.
He showed up.
He showed up and sees her dead, and then he killed him.
And don't forget about
against
the fear
gate,
factor too.
Then that would have mean fear factor would have not running out the gate after seeing somebody.
Look, there's only
stand.
3 things that you can do in a situation like that.
3 things you can do in the situation.
There's not 4. There's 3.
3
You can-
things,
you either
not 4.
freeze and don't
Freeze,
move at all.
Don't move.
You scream and run
Scream.
away,
And run.
or you what's the third one?
So did we?
You walked
so,
in on
so hold on.
opponent
So,
after she
so
had
in
already-
today's
She was already gone by the time
so
Ron
in
got
today's
there.
technology,
Fact.
getting
was gone.
radiocarbon dating and DNA testing, how come? And that's how I feel like it's a mafia hit. That's why they're letting it die.
No, ain't no
You
mafia
can easily get a
mafia
DNA
hit.
sample from OJ, as bad as those people were scarred, and Ron Goldman, as much as he hit somebody. That's samples and stuff left. How come they never
They
pursued
got
that?
DNA. But the blood supposedly matched OJ, but that supports my theory that it could have been his son.
But that blood was tampered.
I believe the blood was tampered, particularly in the case of there was some socks that they got from OJ's whatever.
Right.
The socks had a blood drop on the top of the sock and a blood drop on the bottom of the sock, where clearly the blood went through the top of the sock to the bottom of the sock. Now, what does that tell you?
It wasn't on no foot.
It wasn't no foot in the sock.
Plus, she was wearing
So
shoes.
for them to say he was walking in the socks and the blood dropped on him is impossible.
Thank you.
It goes right because if his foot was in the sock, there's no way that the top drop could have gone through to the bottom.
And was there any
Crime
dirt on the
scene
bottom
was a
of
bloody
that
mess.
sock?
That I don't know.
I'm saying if he was walking around with socks on, then there should have some dirt on the bottom of that sock.
Should have some dirt on the bottom of
Or you
the
had
sock, but the
shoes on.
blood could not go through his
Can't
foot
go through the foot.
and
to
come
the
out directly beneath the blood on the top. That's my first thing. Now, on the other half of it, I was on Grace Under Fire, I was on Roseanne, and on all my television deals, Johnny Cochran represented me.
What'd you do?
Johnny Cochran.
Just have him on your side is good
I'm
enough.
trying to get that money. Johnny Cochran personally told me OJ never paid him a dime.
That's what you said. He
Yeah, I
said.
remember you said that.
Whoa.
OJ told Johnny Cochran, according to Johnny Cochran, to me. Johnny Cochran said this to me. OJ said, with all the publicity you got from this trial, I don't owe you nothing.
Whoa. That's
And Johnny
crazy.
Cochran said, because it was such a big deal and a big racial, social issue, he said, I'm just not going to pursue it. He said.
He didn't want to sue him?
OJ was
Forget that. I would sue
wrong
his ass.
for not paying him, but right on the other aspect because It wasn't until like after that you start hearing all around the Cochran firm. Seemed like it became a nationwide lawyer.
Hey, man.
But he should have paid him.
Even if you innocent,
He
this
should've
man got you off
Exactly. He should have
a
paid him.
murder charge.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
with you. You should have
Right.
paid
And
him.
you talking about
Right, your freedom.
You talking about what else he gonna make?
Hey, look, I'm with you. OJ should have paid him, but OJ was not incorrect in saying that he did not expand. That's all I'm saying. He expanded, like OJ said. The popularity you're gonna get off of this, OJ was wrong.
That
Should've
wasn't
paid
none
him.
of OJ's business.
Right.
I agree
He
with
supposed
you.
to
I
pay
just
him,
said
yeah.
OJ is correct.
And
'cause he went
even
to Cochran for him.
okay, I'm gonna go with your argument for a minute.
I would have sued his ass. Forget that race
If
shit. That's
Johnny benefited from representing OJ, blah blah blah, okay, but OJ is a free man instead of going to prison for life. What is that worth?
Right.
Even
Exactly.
if
Exactly.
Johnny
Freedom.
Cochran benefited and OJ paid him,
Right.
that still was not enough money for what he did.
He got you off the
OJ.
right.
Johnny,
Double.
I mean, to me, and I get what Johnny do. I guess with all the attention, he probably should have found a way to pursue it, maybe under, I don't know, another.
Well, he
name or
didn't want the
something.
bad
They just finna give
publicity,
him
and
2 life
I totally
sentences.
understand that.
He been found
We were
guilty.
at Jim Brown's house when he told me this, but I totally understand that he didn't want the bad publicity because it had become such a racial divide and such a social
agree.
issue.
I
And
agree.
he said, "I'm just gonna let it run, let it roll."
Yeah, but like you said though, I mean, like, how much is your freedom worth?
Right.
To me,
So
it's
even
worth
if what
it.
you're
It's every
saying
penny
is
I
true.
have.
Right. every
Even
penny,
if
right,
Johnny
every dime.
did benefit
Still
They
older
said
man.
OJ said it. I'm
from
saying.
representing him, even with that and the money that OJ should have paid him,
Yeah.
it still wasn't enough.
He
Oh,
should
I
have
agree
paid
with
that
that
man.
because he
For what amount to your freedom for what?
Right.
30 years? How long ago was it? OJ case.
1993. So yeah, we're talking about 30 plus 30 years.
30 years. I remember
Well,
where I was.
Didn't he go to jail for 9 of them though?
He went to
still?
jail for
But
9,
something
but
totally
yeah,
different, though.
you know.
Still. He would have
totally
avoided
different.
that time if he was already locked
So
up.
you saying what, 21 years? No, because if it hadn't been for that, he wouldn't have gone for that 9. He'd already been in there.
Right, so he'd have had.
I remember where I was during the chase. Do you remember where you were?
I know
Well,
exactly
yeah,
where I was.
Jay.
I was in my mom's hair salon in Virginia, looking at it on TV.
What part of Virginia?
30 miles south of Richmond.
Her the benefit of the doubt because, especially black men, because we viewed as predators, and we always start in a hole. We got to climb our way out, and you'd be damn near destroyed before people want to accept the truth. That's what happened to OJ.
I mean, I know that about OJ. Nobody ever understood. I mean, like, the bitch was at his house with another dude.
Worse than that. You want to know? I found out some shit about the OJ case 2 days ago that I bet y'all don't even know.
Give it to me.
Do you know who Glenn Rogers is?
He lived.
Glenn Rogers, better known as the cross-country killer, was Nicole Brown Simpson's handyman.
What do you mean?
He was her handyman was a serial killer. He was convicted. He killed 4 blondes. He was convicted of killing 4 blondes. That was his thing. He was from Ohio. He was her handyman, which means he was at her house a couple times a week. If y'all look it up if you think I'm bullshitting. His name is Glenn Rogers, known as the cross-country killer or the Casanova killer. He was convicted of killing 4 people 4 women in 1995, and during the time of the murders, and for years before that, he was her handyman.
And they never knew.
And they never brought that shit up in the media.
Well, they painted her as a victim in the media. Like, she wasn't known as the bust down she was.
She was a bust down for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like her father was on
Hit the thumbs up button.
there crying and stuff. He never said I lost control of her. And because if she was on, I mean, like, we know why she was with OJ. OJ had paper at the time.
That one. That's the
His brother told the police, my brother murdered Nicole Brown Simpson. He admitted to me he murdered her, and he actually admitted to murdering her. But the narrative was already spun, and they were making so many billions of dollars selling this false narrative about OJ at the time that they weren't interested in anything but OJ slander. Then I watched some shit the other day. You gotta watch when you get to the crib, Corey. After he was found innocent, I don't know if y'all remember, OJ did a 3-hour documentary where he went over all the evidence in the case, himself, and walked you through it. Where they found it in the crib, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was weird to see him in this state because as a 41-year-old man now, I now see, all that nigga had was really his reputation. So even though he knew he didn't do it, he was still trying to salvage his reputation because he was, I would say he was naive enough to think that people wanted the truth. They didn't give a fuck about the truth. They just cared about the story. And this is weird how we thought a not guilty verdict as black people, we thought that was enough. We really should have stood by that dude's side and really fought with him after that because they tried to ruin his life. They tried to ruin his kids' lives. And it's just fucked up because I was under the assumption that he was guilty for years. You know what I'm saying? But when you really research the case, it's fucked up. We watched the nigga get railroaded, and he really didn't do this shit.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I watched that documentary. I think I'm gonna put the link in the description. I gotta find the name of it. Glenn Rogers was the Casanova as the leader. I guess we already said serial killer, but yeah, he's the Casanova guy, and the Casanova, Freeway. He had a bunch of names, but yeah, that documentary, it was on ID channel, and it basically breaks down where he told his brother that he did do it. He was actually in the area around the same time that the situation happened with Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. He was in the area. He was actually doing a little handiwork around the area. He was a drifter. He was drifting from place to place, and as he was drifting, going from place to place, he was meeting women, and he was getting rid of them. You see what I'm saying? And he happened to be in the same area as Nicole Brown Simpson. Now I don't know about them saying that if he did any handiwork for her, but he was the handy person in the area. He was the handyman that was doing work in the area for people. And he was he was a handsome looking cat, blonde hair, blue eye. So that's like the king of white men. The blonde hair, blue eyed white man is the king of all white males. That's pure white man there. So people will let him in, oh yeah, you can come into my home and fix my roof, and not realizing this dude is a freaking, the leader, professional leader, serial deleter. Because they just see, he's not going to do anything. And the whole time, this man is so he might have did some work for Nicole. Realized she lived by herself, realized that she got money. Because in the documentary, he even told his brother that I met that football player's wife. This is maybe, I think maybe 2 months before she expired. And he said, I just met and I've been doing, I don't know whether he said he was doing work for her, but he said that he met her, and I guess he said he was going to bleed her for everything she has, like as far as like getting her money. So, but he had already, before he got to Nicole Brown Simpson, he had already, I think, deleted 3 women in California already, one in Ontario and one in, I think, near the area, like Encino. So he was in Southern California around the time that they, Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson they expired. So that's why I'm talking. I'm on YouTube, so I'm trying not to get demonetized. So that's why I'm trying to talk like that. But yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna see if I can find a link, and I'm gonna put it in the bottom of the description. Y'all can go and watch the documentary for you. I want y'all to watch it for yourself and let me know what y'all think. Check this out. One part in the documentary that they had, Nicole Brown Simpson had a pendant that she used to wear. And during that dude's trial, he actually wore the pendant on his suit that he took from the house. You see what I'm saying? And on top of this, the evidence is this. They said that it was a dog barking, right? But they were saying that I guess when the situation took place with the deletion of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, the dog didn't bark. The dogs didn't bark. And the reason why they said the dog didn't bark is because the dog, if you're doing work, if you are working on somebody's house and they have a dog, eventually the dog is going to get used to you. You see what I'm saying? So that's so the dog knew the person that was there that did this to both Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. That's why the dog didn't bark. So that weighs, because he was doing, if he's supposed to have been doing handiwork in the area and did work for her, then the dog got used to him. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't bark, you know. And plus, check this out. The viciousness of the deletions of Nicole Brown Simpson, when they said her head was almost severed from her body. This dude, his deletion spree of women, that's how he would do them. It would be very savaged. It was very savage. He would delete women very savagely. Same way that Nicole Brown Simpson passed away. So it's just too many coincidences. I think that dude Glenn Rogers did do it. I believe he did do it. Anyway, watch the documentary, man. Come back and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button. Well, if you already watched it, let me know what y'all think.